Time really does fly, doesn't it? It's hard to believe that Tower Defense X has already been around for longer than a year now. The game was released in 2023, it has quickly become one of the most popular Tower Defense games on the platform. The game is still fairly new and I think everyone knows the game is still in the beta phase, but does it really matter? Despite being in beta, the game has already made a huge impact on Tower Defense genre. That was a huge thing because before Tower Defense X, there was only one popular Tower Defense game. I am sure you can guess which one it is. It's Tower Defense Simulator. But anyway, we will dive into that in more detail later in the video. So what are we going to do in this video? You saw it from the title. We are going to take a look back at an entire year of Tower Defense X. There is so much to talk about, including updates, events, dramas, and so much more. Make sure to stick around and watch the entire video because trust me, it's going to be very interesting. The creator of Tower Defense X, John Roblox, was working on his first game called D1. It was released in December 2021, literally 2 years before Tower Defense X. D1 was a pretty decent horror fighting game and I remember playing it. At the time it didn't have that much content, but it was looking very promising. Perhaps your main goal was killing zombies and some other enemies, which were very terrifying and also scary. But as you can expect, the game didn't really find the success. It was left in the dust after the demo release. There were some plans for a second demo release with new guns, new enemies and many other cool features, but that never happened even after 3 years. But do you know something that can happen? I guess I know something. If you subscribe right now, maybe I can reach 25,000 subscribers before the end of the year. This video took me a very long time. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. It really means a lot to me, but anyways, let's continue the video. Exactly 30 days after D1 was released, they announced a brand new game they were working on. The game they were working on of course turned out to be Tower Defense X, but it was just an announcement. Perhaps Tower Defense X was in the very early phases of development. Even the logo of the game was different compared to the current one. Which one is better? Let me know in the comments, man. After the huge announcement of Tower Defense X, they started working on the game every day and night. These are some of the first leaks we ever got. We can see the weapons of Mr. Trooper and the Ranger Tower. They really look so weird compared to the current game, which was pretty normal for that time. After that, we saw the warship and some other plane, which isn't even in the game right now. By the way, just a fun fact. The first towers that were created are Ranger, Mr. Trooper and Juggernaut. So after a very long time of development, John Roblox started making videos about his new game. This generated so much hype within the player base because this game was going to be different. The main concept of the game was military. They were aiming to make a more realistic type of a Tower Defense experience, which was one of the reasons the game found to success very easily. For the first time, the game was released as a joke on the 1st of April 2023. It was only playable for an hour and a half. The people who played the game during that time also received a special badge. That special badge rewarded the Sparkle Ranger skin. It's not really a skin, but anyways, man. Another fun fact, by the way, I made my first video on this day. I guess Tower Defense X was really going to change my life entirely. But finally, after waiting for so long, the trailer of the game was finally out. The release date was also mentioned with this new trailer. It was 21st of November, exactly 1 year ago. The trailer had some really cool animation which I still like. It was very high quality for the first trailer. We saw so many different towers in the trailer, such as Toxinator, Extra Turret and even Refractor, which will be added to the game in the next year. But it wasn't only about the towers, we also saw the Eradicators and Plague Doctors, which are my favorites. And here we go, I guess the first part of the video ends here. It was probably more interesting than what you were thinking of. The game was finally released on 21st of November. In the first week, it was absolutely crazy. Everyone started grinding the game. It was reaching 20k concurrent players, which was pretty crazy. Of course, at that time, Tower Defense X wasn't the only popular Tower Defense game. There was one more game, which is Tower Defense Simulator, like I said before. Around the time Tower Defense X released, Tower Defense Simulator was having a Halloween event. It had some important problems which were mainly about the Act 3 of the event, because it wasn't like how people were expecting it to be. It was really difficult and just overwhelming. After the event, Tower Defense Simulator was really quiet for a long time. The only important update was the quest update, which wasn't that important, but they were cooking something really great. You will see what I mean later in the video. Tower Defense X had its first update in the second week, which introduced a brand new tower. The update was about the first spawner tower in the game, the barracks. It's basically a tower which can spawn many different type of units. Those units were able to deal hundreds of DPS and it was a huge game changer for that time. Then we had a tiny collab update with Tower Battles where the Tower skins were finally added to the game. They introduced a new skin crate with so many different type of skins. Other than that, there were 5 exclusive Tower Battles skins. One of them was people's favorite, The Tower Battles EDJ, it's still my favorite, not going to lie. I literally love it. This update created some drama in the community because the skin crate opening system wasn't that great for that time. You were basically gambling, and the worst thing is you are able to get duplicate skins. Perhaps you can even end up with duplicate legendary skins. Those duplicate skins were so annoying because it could cost you thousands of gold just to get a single legendary skin, which could be a duplicate. The community didn't really like this system at first, including myself. However, they were going to fix this problem in the future. That's one of the things we will talk later in the video. Both of the Tower Defense games were quiet for a long time, but really, what was the reason behind that? Of course, it was because of the Christmas, which was around the corner. A week before the Christmas event in Tower Defense X, they decided to introduce a brand new tower to the game, which was going to be the meta in the Christmas event. As you can expect, it's the Railgunner, which is one of the strongest towers in the game even at this moment. By the way, a fun fact, the model of the tower was very similar to the Aircrafter tower in Tower Bliss. That's really just my opinion, but I think you can realize they are very similar to each other. Perhaps the tower was able to deal thousands of damage, which made it even better than the Juggernaut in some cases. On the other hand, in December, Tower Defense Simulator released the Christmas event. I will be honest here, the event was pretty similar to the Frost Invasion event. In my opinion, it was very entertaining and it was so fun. The reward for beating the event was a new tower, which was the Cryomancer. It's a very mid tower in my opinion. But 2 days after that, Tower Defense X released the first ever event in the history of the game, the Christmas 2023 event. The event was pretty decent. There were 2 different difficulties, one of them being the regular and the other one being the nightmare mode. The reward of beating the event was the Cry Ranger Tower, and you could get the Christmas Artillery skin by beating the nightmare mode. The event introduced a brand new boss, the Exo Santa. He was really cool with his new abilities. There is of course one thing we cannot forget about this event, and that's the multiplier X in the nightmare mode. This multiplier was able to clone the Exo Santa. That made you have to fight with 2 bosses, which was really overwhelming in the final wave. There were also some new Christmas skins. Those skins were the first ever limited time skins in the game. The Cry Ranger Tower was mid too. It was basically Cry Blaster and Ranger in one particular tower. But anyways, around 2 weeks after the Christmas event, they introduced the strongest naval tower in the game so far, the Warship. This beast required level 100 to unlock, which made the tower pretty rare when it was first released. To be honest, it's one of the coolest towers in the game. Even right now, it's just amazing to see the Warship. I think we can say this was the first time we saw a Warship in a Tower Defense game, which was only in Tower Defense X moment. Nearly a week after that, the game had one of the most useful quality of life updates. The artillery tower was made so much better because you were finally able to see the reload cooldown and splash radius. Also, the top hat farm was finally fixed. With this new change, it was able to make you thousands of dollars and it was insanely overpowered. So 1 day later, they introduced a brand new tower, which was a Grenadier. This tower was really good, not going to lie. We have seen so many new towers in Tower Defense X, but what was Tower Defense Simulator up to? They started doing something insane, and that is bi-weekly updates. The game literally started having bi-weekly updates 1 month after the Christmas event. They added content creator skins, the new Crook poster work, and the brand new tower, which was the Trapper. We can pretty much say Tower Defense Simulator started the competition with Tower Defense X after this new change. While Tower Defense Simulator was doing bi-weekly updates, Tower Defense X added the Toxinator tower, which was really OP before the nerf. The tower had no hit limit, which made it one of the best crowd control towers after the Warship. Few days after that, we saw the second collab in the history of Tower Defense X. This time it was a collab with Criminality. It wasn't a huge update other than a few skins, but in this update, they introduced many new features, such as skin merging, which was mentioned months ago. You were finally able to merge your duplicate skins into a better skin. They also introduced a brand new emote system to the game. It was cool in my opinion. Again, 5 days after this update, they added a brand new limited time event, which was the Valentine's event. There were 8 new Valentine's skins and one of them was very outstanding compared to the others. That was the Jane skin for John Tower. She's really awesome and I love this skin, man, not going to lie. But you must remember there was only a single way to get the skins, and that was by beating the intermediate or expert game modes, which was a huge pain because it was based on RNG. You were basically gambling and hoping to get the skin after beating one of the game modes. The Valentine's update wasn't that important, however a long time after that we finally saw the second spawner tower in the game, the Armored Factory. This tower is really one of my favorites. It was really cool and it was really OP. I think everyone loves the Emblems and it was a fantastic addition for the game. A few weeks after the Armored Factory update in Tower Defense X, Tower Defense Simulator decided to rework the military base. The rework made it very similar to the Armor Factory, which made some people blame the game for copying Tower Defense X. If you want to learn more about this, you can watch my previous video in the cards. But one more thing, the thumbnails of the games were pretty funny because you know, they are really similar to each other, man, literally. But after the Armor Factory, they started talking about the endless update, which was going to be the biggest update the game has seen so far. Before that, we need to talk about the April Fool's event, which was just Skibidi Toilet. Yes, Skibidi Toilet. Your objective was beating the Super Revived John Toilet, but unfortunately, there was no exclusive reward for this event. There were some realistic maps which were very amazing, not going to lie. But 3 weeks after the trailer, the endless update was finally out, which introduced 3 new towers. 2 of them were the Golden Ranger and Juggernaut, and the other one was the Xtablam Turret. Xtablam Turret was a game changer. It is still one of the strongest and most useful towers in the game today. Along with the new towers, we also got the new endless game mode. It was so much fun trying to beat the new enemies, with some of them being very iconic like Apex Predator and Eradicator MK1 Combat. I love this update, not going to lie. There were so many new things which was so entertaining for me. To be honest, there was something very crucial in this update, and that is the speed up feature being available for free in the solo matches, which was so important for the free-to-play players, not going to lie. But don't forget, we also got our very first power-ups, which were insanely overpowered and they could shred an entire army of enemies in only a few seconds. A week after the endless update, we got a new update which introduced a brand new power-up ability to the game, and that is a nuclear missile. Let me tell you, man, this thing is just overpowered. It's literally overpowered. But don't forget that it's really expensive. 50,000 gold is really expensive for a one-time ability. Other than the nuke, the shotgunner finally had its new rework. The tower was really outdated, so it was a good change in my opinion. The rework added 2 new abilities to the shotgunner, which are still fairly useful. And with this new update, the golden eradicators were added to the endless game mode. They were just golden, nothing that important. But after these 2 massive updates, they nerfed our favorite tower, the Golden Juggernaut. In the return of that, the petrol boat became insanely overpowered. The new range of it was literally so large and it became one of the best mid-game towers. In the meanwhile, Tower Defense Meter was also cooking so much new content. They were taking this very serious and the weekly updates were going crazy, not going to lie. I don't want to talk about Tower Defense Meter in this video because our main goal is Tower Defense X, so let's get to that now. To be honest, the game was pretty dead for a long time until they introduced 2 new towers, the Slammer and the Medic. They were very cool. The Slammer tower was really overpowered, especially with the Grand Slam ability on the top hat. On the other hand, the Medic tower wasn't that useful, other than for endless game mode. Still, both of the new towers were a fantastic addition for the game in my opinion. Perhaps the Medic tower was actually planned for something else in the future, but we will get to that later in the video. And finally, the moment the entire community has been waiting for happened in the last days of June. The trailer of the Torpedoes event was finally released. It was amazing, but honestly, I still prefer the endless update trailer. This update was going to be the second biggest update in the history of the game. Do you know the funniest thing? This update was actually revealed 8 months before the release. A very important information, I think. Anyways, the release of the update was planned to be 2 weeks after the trailer. Before the Torpedoes event, they decided to roll out a special 4th of July update. In this update, we got a brand new limited time skin crate, which added 10 new skins to the game. Some of them were really cool, like the Armor Factory and the Warship skins. Both of these were very great additions for the future of the game, and of course, we cannot forget about this one. The dream of every American player came true after they added the B2 stat bomber to the game. It was very similar to the nuclear bomb, but was a cheaper and more affordable version because you know, the nuclear bomb is literally $50,000, which is very expensive. So finally, after all of this, the Torpedoes event was out. It was a pretty decent update with a ton of new content, including 2 new towers. Those 2 towers are the Z and the Commander, which are taken directly from Torpedoes. Perhaps there is no way to obtain these towers anymore, which makes them pretty rare and exclusive. By the way, another fun fact, this update was the first update we got towers that only have 1 path of upgrades. On the other hand, the Torpedoes event itself was pretty awesome. It featured 2 different game modes like the Christmas event. Beating the Void Boss from Torpedoes was literally so entertaining. What made this event even more important was that it was the first event with a battle pass in the history of the game. You were able to unlock these 2 towers and 13 new skins from the battle pass. The battle pass was literally so grindy, so that made some people angry and upset because you know, spending days to get the Z tower was really overwhelming. Despite the grind, this update was really huge with 5 different new maps for Torpedoes event, 2 new limited time power-ups and 2 new emos. Especially the EDJ skin in the battle pass was really peak content. I love the song of it. it was definitely worth grinding for. A week after the Tower Battles event, we received a small update, but it turned out to be very crucial. They added an even possible map to the game. This was a huge game changer because you were able to win this map in the expert game mode very easily with a basic strategy. It made grinding XP really easy. That's also when I reached level 200. That was so crazy, man. But on the other hand, the endless mode was now 200 waves, and if you beat the wave 200, you were going to get a free nuke. That made some people start grinding endless mode every day and night, which led them to stack up tons of nukes. Other than the nuke, you could also get 25,000 gold and a bunch of other power-ups. Honestly, it was insane how much this update changed the grind for the players. In the next month, they introduced a brand new tower which could go into stealth mode. It was the Ghost Tower. She was undetectable to some enemies, but they were still able to damage her. Essentially, she works like a better version of Operator with much stronger stats and an important ability, the drone. This ability is very useful because it can unstat an enemy within the range of the drone. There was also a new skin crate which added 12 new ghost skins to the game. These skins are not limited time, so you are still able to buy them. The good thing of this skin crate is that there are no duplicate skins, which is so peaceful, like literally it's so peaceful, man. A few weeks after the Ghost Tower, they added a brand new Golden Tower to the game, which was the Golden Mine Layer. He is actually overpowered. He was able to stun bosses with the ability on the bottom pad. It also can deal thousands of damage, but you need to use it in a very smart way. But in my opinion, you can count this tower as the worst Golden Tower in the game, so I would say buy this tower if you have extra gold you can spend. You mostly won't even use this tower except for the endless mode. It's the only useful side of it. Other than the Golden Mine Layer, there was also a new limited time summer skin crate, which was very similar to the previous Ghost skin crate. There were a bunch of new summer skins which aren't available at the moment. Let me know in the comments if you have the summer skins. And after all of this, they finally decided to make a decent update with bunch of quality of life changes. I love this update because they added the helicopter and the sentry towers after ages. As you can expect, the helicopter is pretty much my favorite tower in the game. It's also so overpowered. We can count it like a flying warship. It basically has entire map range, deals hundreds of DPS, and is crazy, man, literally, trust me. On the other hand, the sentry tower was more of an intermediate tower. It was a cheaper version of the extra ram turret, which made it really useful. Aside from the towers, they also added 10 new maps, which was a good thing for the future of the game. But sadly, with this new update, we learned that the nightmare maps were delayed for a long time. We have no idea when they are going to be added to the game, but I guess we will learn that in the next year. So before we start talking about the biggest update in the history of the game, let's talk about how the game was doing during all of these updates. It's actually so surprising that the game hit the most concurrent player count during the Christmas event in 2023. There were more than 30,000 people playing the game on that day. That's insane for a game like this. And the last time the game had more than 20,000 concurrent players was the day when the endless update was released. However, after that, even during the summer when the Tower Battles event came out, the game was struggling to hit 15,000 concurrent players. We can pretty much see the popularity of the game was decreasing day by day. But anyways, enough of that, let's get to the main point, the Halloween update. The Halloween update included a brand new battle pass which had 3 new towers, the Scarecrow, Flame Trooper and Relic. Scarecrow was basically a tower that can be used for baiting the boss attacks. The Flame Trooper was a great option for crowd control, but after the nerf, it became very expensive. The Relic Tower isn't that of a good spawner tower, it's very expensive and not even that good for what you pay. However, we know that the Relic Tower is going to have a rework in the next year, so it will probably become something way better. Despite all of these new towers, there were a bunch of new Halloween skins in the Battle Pass. My favorite skin in the Battle Pass is for sure the Pirate Commander, not going to lie. So right now we will talk about the Halloween event. To be honest, there were some problems with this update. But anyways, in the Halloween update, there were 4 different chapters which released in 4 different updates. The chapter 1 was decent, it was really quick and easy, it didn't have anything interesting in my opinion. The chapter 2 introduced the first ever double entrance map, which meant the enemies would come from 2 different entrances. The chapter 2 was much more entertaining than the chapter 1 in my opinion. But after this, between chapter 2 and 3, there were some problems which made the developers have to delay the chapter 3 and 4 by a few days, which ended up delaying the chapters even more. After all of this, most of the players lost their interest in this event. There were some stuff which were going to be added to the game, but got never added even after weeks. Those are the cast skin with voice acting in chapter 3 and the party system which was going to be added after a few days from the update. But about the chapter 3 and 4, they were really unique and really entertaining. entertaining for me. Your objective was defending your base. In chapter 3 it was the artillery, and in chapter 4 it was the GDA base. Perhaps the medic tower was the meta in chapter 3 and 4. It was a tower that could make everything much easier. At first the turrets in the chapter 4 weren't even working. It was so stupid, not going to lie. But thankfully, after a few days, they fixed it, and right now if you play the event, you will see that the turrets are functional. Despite all the ups and downs, I have to say that the corrupted Eradicator MK2 and the corrupted Apex Predator boss fights were amazing. Could this update has been better? Of course it could be, but we will see what will happen in the future. After this huge update, we got two small updates. One of them was the party skin crate, which was added because of the first anniversary of the game. Happy birthday to the game. You are still one of my favorite games. We love you, Tower Defense X. But anyways, in this limited time skin crate, there are 6 limited time skins which are still obtainable at the moment. Another fun addition was that the bosses in the main game was getting some silly customizations. They are very cool and very stupid, man, not going to lie. The other update was the Black Friday sale update. This update introduced a brand new tower to the game, which is the Mobster Tower. It's especially a spawner tower which can also generate some good amount of cash. This tower can spawn hundreds of units, which makes the tower very fun to use. But still, this tower is not the most powerful spawner tower in the game. There are lots of better options. Honestly, I never see people using this tower. It's more like an intermediate type of thing, I guess. But anyways, there was also the Black Friday sale, which made most of the things such as game passes so much cheaper than before. So you could buy them for cheaper price, which was amazing. On the other hand, there were some drama again with Tower Defense Simulator. The Mobster Tower is very similar to the Crook boss in Tower Defense Simulator. So again, it was about copying, but it's literally not copying, man, trust me. I would recommend watching the video in the cards if you want to learn more about it. We are going to see what's next for Tower Defense X in the next year. There is only one thing we can do right now, and that is waiting for the upcoming Christmas update. But anyways, I think that was it. Oh my goodness, man, we literally went through an entire year of Tower Defense X in this video. I mean, it's even longer than a year because we started talking from 2021, which was crazy. What's your opinion on this? Let me know in the comments. I am very interested to see them, but I really hope the video was fun for you. I did my best to keep the video as short as possible. I hope it was entertaining. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This video literally took me ages, man. Anyways, I am going to end the video here. Maybe I will see you guys in the next year again with a video like this. I hope your day or night will be awesome. Take care and see you in the next video.